issues do you find, or what issue do you find most important on a local level, and then what then on a national level?
Well, on the local level, I think what is pertinent is that our churches are failing miserably. They're turning their backs on the congregations, on people, on the older people, forgetting the mission of reaching out and helping the elderly, and especially in this time of crisis, to hide away or to close our churches and try to do things online. It's not effective. You can't pray online with people. You can't touch them and hold them and hug them when they're going through difficult times. I think that locally also we have businesses that have turned their back on the very people that they're out there to be able to open their doors to, restaurants and places where you fellowship, and that builds family relationships and local relationships. On a local level too, with some of the mayors and some of the local, let's say not senators, but legislators, they've failed too. They're not coming out and meeting us on this level and saying, hey, what's going on? We have so many businesses that are struggling to stay alive, and so many businesses that have to feed their families, and yet we've said, hey, stuff it. It's all about the big corporate. And we've all shopped big corporate. We've shopped Amazon and all those, but these are the small businesses where they feed people, not just their families, but the families of the people that work for them at minimum wage, barely making it.
Local level, I think like economy and keeping everything open and how things been going is not great. Our county council has been horrible lately, shutting down refineries, building. As far as permitting wise, there's huge restrictions, and it's just really discouraging. Our family's been talking about moving out of here. We don't like how things are going. It's super restrictive.
For local, I would say definitely schools, but honestly that's going to be the same for national. It's just so important, so many kids. Heard the speaker earlier, suicide rate is way up and it needs to stop. Kids are getting depressed and school is a way to help them. Their social life is way more important than maybe our governor thinks it is. But it's important for every kid's mental health and it needs to stop. So we need to go back to school. That includes college campuses need to reopen and local schools need to go open. I know Lynden High School is very much so closed right now, and I know many people who are struggling right now with their schools and studies. So they need that to be back open or they're not going to pass their classes.
So in Lynden, school is a big thing, sports are a big thing, and as youth, we need our schools, we need our sports, and it makes a huge difference on like suicide count. As Nate was talking, it's up 15%, and I feel school is just a huge impact on that suicide rate, and like after school activities, all that we can't do anything because Inslee has shut us down.
Open up. I think they're both one and the same, that we need to not only open up Lynden, but we need to open up the United States, not only for our economy, but to help the youth, to help people from stop being so depressed and being so lonely, and just being able to kickstart and get everything back to how it was. And I'm just worried that we never will get back to the way it was if we don't fight for it.
National level, I think they've totally turned their back on what the real issue is. This is a politically motivated agenda, something to that degree. Who knows? But it is definitely where you feel that the change come down is where we've lost a connection, where there's no great statesmen anymore. There's no people standing up for the people, standing up for the Constitution. We've forgotten that we have a Constitution. It's not something that you could throw away. Our highest authority is God, and our next highest authority is the Constitution. So we have to weigh it against that for local level, for the higher level of governments, for national, for local, both of those. We have to always look to that. We can't sway from that. That is our foundation. When we go against God, when we go against the Constitution, we've lost our freedom. And unfortunately, that's what we're losing today. You can't even walk down the street or walk into a place without wearing a mask or without, now they're threatening vaccines and stuff. This has gone crazy for 99% percentage of that survival rate, you're like anywhere from 90 to 99%. For those over 80, they're saying, oh, well, that's still in the 80 percentile. Well, you have to ask yourself, well, why are we at this? Why aren't the local levels trying to fight back against something that has such a low death rate? You're just like, it's not making sense. And it's sad today that on the local level needs to stand up once again and fight against what is taking place in the national.
Locally, we need to open our businesses back up and kids need to go back to school, and that should follow suit in the rest of the nation as well, because kids need to go back to school and the suicide rate is up. And right now a young person is 15 times more likely to die from suicide than from COVID. And it's really been taking a toll on our local families, and I know around the nation that is the same as well. And personally, we're not seeing any big riots in our small town, but I know that they're going on across the country, and we really need to unify and gather together in this time.
In the United States, there's so many things. Lockdown, we can't work. Schools is just another big thing, and I think school is one of the biggest things in the U.S. and jobs. I think people are going crazy, and when small businesses are going under, it's hard when you can't work and provide money for your families. And when small businesses shut down, people start to like, kind of go a little bit crazy and look for opportunities of anything they can work, and they're not providing money for their families or to put food on the table. So yeah.
Nationally, our security, our national security with where China's been going and that whole direction, it's kind of scary how things are going. Our gun control, all these talks of these extra taxes on top of ammunition and that whole, it's really scary for me. We don't like it at all. It's the socialism part of everything is really, really scary. We just don't like it. So that's kind of where we stand with our family.
So I just think what's most important right now is that we just start opening things back up again and giving people back the freedoms that so many people have fought and died for our country, and that we just allow people to exercise their constitutional rights. And I think it's especially important that people are getting back in schools on a local and national level, because when students aren't in schools, there's a lot of other problems that arise from that. And I think with all of these lockdowns that have been happening, the solution that we've come up with is worse than the actual problem. We've seen a spike in domestic violence, a spike in drug use, spikes in suicides. There's just been so many different greater issues that have come from the supposed solutions that people in government have put into place. So I think really we should be doing the same thing on a local and national level. That's simply just opening back up our country, opening back up our economy, so that we can continue to be the greatest nation in the world.